Hi, I'm Dave Monty. Welcome to my video series, Everything Villages. Today, I'm going to cover what the bond is and how to find the bond amortization schedule, which will give you what your payment is, how much you're paying in interest, how much the interest rate is, and your exact bond balance in any given year. So stay tuned. Before we get started, as always, a couple of housekeeping items. If you do like my videos, please subscribe to my channel. If you like the video, please hit like. Both of those actions help these videos get to more people, and I truly appreciate it. Also, I have a free 42-page guide, Buying and Selling a Home in the Villages. If you'd like your free copy, just email me right here at davemontysales@gmail.com, and I'll send you out your copy. All right, as I said in the introduction, we're going to talk about what the bond is. And rather than put up a slide, I'm just going to tell you what it is and what it's not. A lot of people don't like the bond. What they do is they view it as extra profit for the developer. Now, I do agree that it probably is a little bit of extra profit for the developer. This isn't a standard development or subdivision. Most developers might be putting in a turn lane off a busy highway to get into the subdivision. They are going to put in roads in the subdivision. Okay? But in the villages, you're building a city. They're putting not only the roads into the subdivision, they're putting in the main highways, they're putting in the secondary roads, they're putting in water towers, water treatment plants, golf cart paths, golf cart tunnels, bridges. So all of that infrastructure adds up. So when they're building a city, and how cities are built are through bonds. But typically, people will vote on those bonds, whether they want the city to expand here or there. In the villages, it's just built into the equation of how they're building their business. So is it extra profit for the developer? A little bit. But again, the developer is doing a lot more than a standard developer. Okay. So let's talk about the ultimate goal here, which is to get to this thing called a bond amortization schedule. If you're not familiar with an amortization schedule in general, basically it says anytime you have a loan, and the bond is kind of a loan in this case, and you pay it back, you actually are paying it back in intervals over time, and your principal and interest shift throughout time. So if I take a look at this, you're going to see a few things. Up in the right-hand corner, even down here in your totals, here's your original bond balance of $33,000. Now, I happen to pick one of the newer homes, and the reason I did that was to kind of show a full amortization schedule. If I were to go pick an older home, which most likely, I think one of the examples I'm going to do will have a much shorter one where it's, they're only going to be paying through 2020, they're only going to be paying through 2031 as an example. But this one still has a full 30 years of amortization in it. Okay. Another thing to take a look at up in the left-hand corner is your interest rate. Okay. Then you're going to start taking a look at, again, here's your balance, and here's your payment of about $1,900. With any amortization, when you're first starting off, a bulk of the payment you make is interest, actually. So you pay principal and interest and an admin fee. Over time, down here, once you've paid everything off, or you're looking at mainly making principal payments and very little interest. So just like under amortization, your interest starts up here, your principal starts here, and over time it does this. Okay. So, and then you can also see in here what you're paying off total. So although your original bond balance is $33,000, you end up paying $56,000 over the life of the bond. The big question is, should you pay it off? And the answer is just depends. And a lot of it is just personal comfort level. I showed you there's an interest rate. And to me, 3.4% is still almost free money. It's a fairly low interest rate. If you took that $33,000 and put it into something that returned 10%, you're going to make an extra 7% on your money. However, a lot of people like that peace of mind of just having one large responsibility off their plate, and a lot of people will pay for the bond, pay it off early. My parents paid off theirs early because they don't want any monthly payments. They wanted the lowest tax bill as possible. And again, the bond, I didn't say that earlier, but the bond comes on your tax bill annually. Right? Okay. So how do we calculate this bond? That's number one. Okay? And then again, then I'm going to show you how to get to that bond amortization. On my screen right now, right here, these are the districts. In the villages is broken up into 13 districts. Each one of these districts is broken up into units. Okay? Now, a unit is typically homogeneous type homes, meaning this particular street is mainly designers, and that's a unit. This patio villa section is a unit, and the courtyard villa section is a unit within there. Everyone within those units pays exactly the same. If I have a designer home, it's not based on the value of the house because everyone gets equal access to infrastructure, but they needed to figure out a way to actually charge everyone. And what do I mean by that? Now, in a villa, in the villas, it doesn't matter too much because those are very homogeneous, both in the building as well in the plot of land. But you might have a designer section and one gardenia is on a lake and it's $1 million. You take that same gardenia and move it across the street and it's $475,000. So does it make sense to have both people paying the same bond amount? Well, the answer is yes, because they're both probably using about the same amount of water. They're both using the streets. They're both using the golf cart paths. So it's equal use of shared facilities. Right? So this is District 10, which just is right down here. Okay, so here's District 10. And this little section right here might be a unit. Okay, so let's talk about how they calculate it. So there's an overall cost for the district or one of the phases within the district. And that overall cost is then divided down into the individual units. So what they do is they take a look at the overall cost, then they take a look at the unit by acreage. So you might have, this particular unit might take up 7% of all the acreage in the district. So that unit itself owes 7% of that original infrastructure cost of that district. Once you figured out what that unit owes, then you can divide that amount by the number of homes in that specific unit, and everyone within that unit pays the same number. So it goes as district, unit, home. So, and it's just divided as you go down. All right. Now I'm going to show you how to find it. Before I get into all the nitty gritty here, if you have a villa and you're interested in a villa, all you need is the villa community name, because when I'm going to show you the list of all the amortization schedules, the villas, you look it up by villa name, okay, or by the, not the model number, but the name of the villa community or unit. If you're looking at a designer or a house or a ranch or a premier home, at that point, you'll need what's called a unit number. And I'm going to show you how to get to that unit number. If you happen to know what unit you live in and you have your tax bill, you can go straight to your tax bill, look at the legal description, and you can see the unit number. If that's all you're here for is to do that, then you can kind of skip the rest. You can skip ahead to where I show you how to find it on districtgov.org, and that's right down here. Okay, but the first thing I'm going to do is show you how to find that legal description through the different county websites. 95% of all the homes are in Sumter County. There's a section way northwest in the villages, which is Marion County. And then there's Lake County. The original section of the village is Orange Blossoms in Lake County, but they don't have a bond, so there's no need for people to take a look at that. There is a small section that is south of 466A and east of Morse Boulevard in Fruitland Park. There's like Pine Hills, Pine Ridge, I think, are both in those. All right. So let's take a look at Sumter County to begin with. What we're going to do is I just picked these particular properties. They just happened to be on the market when I was putting this presentation together. So we're going to go over to the Sumter County. Now we're going to go over to the Sumter County website, pull up my web browser here. And as you can see here, Sumter County. The very first thing up here is called record or property search. Okay, so I'm going to click on property search because we have the address. You can look it up by name. You can look it up by parcel number. You can look it up by legal address. But we're going to do this by street address. And I'm going to toggle back and forth with all that talking. I forgot the address. So 3828 Irish. So 3828 Irish. Here it is right there. And I happen to know this is a villa. Okay. And so this one in its legal description will not have the unit number because it is a villa. And in here it says it's Pine Land Villas. And just remember that because I'm going to show you how to look that up on districtgov.org. Okay. Now, what's nice about, I typically will go through the property appraisers. You can go straight to the tax code, but I like going to the property appraiser because it shows you a lot more information, like ownership information, ownership history of your particular property, what the lot is. And there's not as much information because it is a villa, and it doesn't have as much lot information on the website. Okay? But the big news here is what I'm looking for is this legal description. Now, it is on here, but if you want to find your tax bill on the Sumter County website, it is right here. You can retrieve your tax record right there. Okay? And I'll just circle that. Okay. Next thing we're going to do is we're going to toggle back and we're going to look in Marion County. So there's Marion County 8063. 8063. Okay, same thing here. Here I'm going to click on property search. It comes up with the disclaimer. I'm going to say okay. I'm going to click on address, and I think it was 80, yeah, and I had already looked it up. So here's 8063, Southeast 177th. And that's the way you determine whether it's a Marion County if you're from out of town. If it has a 5-digit number followed by Southeast and a number, that means it's in Marion County. So here's the record right there. I'm going to click on it. And you can see this one actually has a little bit more information on the plot of land. It shows you the building perimeter and all the dimensions on it. Shows you ownership history in here. Again, but here is the legal description right here. This one's Unit 56. So I'm going to look up Pineland in Unit 56 when we get to districtgov.org. And so here's that. And again, for Marion County, your tax information is right here. Just click through there and your taxes will be there. So let's go to Lake County, like we said before. Let's go here and then back over. So 3262, 3260, Fink. And right here, property search. And in the address, I'm going to put 3260, Fink. Okay, search. And right here, we're going to view it. Okay, and here's all the information. They kept all their stuff kind of just pulled information in rather than bring you a different site. Again, here's the plot or the layout of the foundation of the building, a bunch of plot information. But again, right here is the description. And this one happens to be unit number 30. Okay, so we had 30 and 56, and then the villas were Pineland. And then the next step is to take that information that we just looked up, and then we're going to go to districtgov.org. This is the village's basically government website. So when you come to this website, there's a ton of information. You can find what your deed restrictions are for your specific unit. You can find information on when to water, when trash pickup is. Pretty much if it's a government entity, this is where you would find the information for the villages. For our purposes, we're interested right here. That is the bond, the residential bond assessment information. And we're just going to come over here. And then on the left-hand side, there's a ton of information here. Some of it I've just covered, which is what the bond is, how it's calculated, things like that. But really what we're interested in here, what your bond amortization schedule is. It's broken up into 3 different links, which are right here. There's Marion County, Sumter County, and Lake County. So let's go to Marion County first. The reason I'm doing that is because I want to look up Unit 56. So for that particular property that we looked up, Unit 56 is right here. And you will probably see that there's not much time left on. There's only 10 years left on that particular bond, and there is only $3,300 left on it. The bond payment is only $400. Typically, you're going to see a lot less expensive bonds up north, if not most of them are actually paid by this point. And the further south you go into the newer sections, the bonds are going to be more expensive, and less of them have been paid off. To the village's website. Now I'm going to go back to the other one because we said there's Sumter County. And again, I can look it up. Here are all the unit numbers right here on the left-hand side. But on this particular one, it was there was Pineland. So, and I'm just going to control find it. Pineland, there it is. So there's Pineland Villas. Okay. And again, here comes the bond amortization schedule. This one's got about 20 years left on it. There's $11,000. You can see they've gotten to the point in the amortization where they're paying about the same in principal as interest rates. over the life of, they're going to pay $16,000 on an $11,000 bond. Okay? So that's basically how you find your amortization schedule and all the information on it. If you have additional questions, I'm just going to do this. Sorry for the sound effects. So if you have additional questions about the bond, feel free to email me at davemontysales@gmail.com, or you can just put a question in the comments. I always answer my comments. So if you have any questions or comments, please put them down below this video. Again, the bond balance is fairly simple to get to. You need a unit number or the unit name. You're going to go to district.gov and you're going to just look it up on that website. So very short, cut and dry video. I hope it has been informative. As always, most of the topics that I cover are in my free 42-page guide, Buying and Selling a Home in the Villages. If you'd like your free copy, just email me again right here at davemontysales@gmail.com and I'll send you out your copy. I hope to be seeing you around the Villages. Take care.